I think I smell lavender in the air. Is that trumpets I hear at 1 o'clock in the morning? Why is that man dressed like a pirate? Because it's springtime in Spain. Hi, my name is Nicole. Welcome to my channel, Travel to Money. In this video, I'm going to go over all the reasons why I think the perfect time to visit Spain is in the spring. Now, I think there's a good argument for why any time is a great time to visit Spain, but I especially love the spring in this beautiful country, so let me tell you all about it. I have had the incredible opportunity to visit Spain during each of the seasons. I enjoy being here most of the time, although my least favorite time is actually the summer, which is funny because that's the tourist season in Spain when everyone else wants to be here. And I get it, if you're going to spend your holiday at the beach, Spain is a beautiful place to do that. You may have noticed some weird weather patterns around the world over the last couple of years, and Spain is one of those places that has had unbelievably hot summers. I was here for 10 days in 2021 during early July, and all I wanted to do was lay under the air conditioner. A few of the days that I visited that year hit highs over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and it was just not fun. And it seems like the heat is carrying on longer than it used to. It's early November now, and I've been here since the 1st of October. I was surprised that my first few weeks here in October had highs in the 90s. Like, where am I? I've been here in October a few times before, and it was never like that. Anyhow, for some people, 90-degree weather may be great for your visit to Spain, but for me, I prefer more mild temperatures. Which brings me to point number one for why you should visit Spain in the spring, and that is the mild temperatures. Now, Spain is a relatively large country, so depending on what part of Spain you visit in the spring, the weather may be slightly different, but generally speaking, you can expect it to be mild. This is one of the reasons that I picked April for the dates of my first group trip to Spain. That's right, you can join me this coming April on a trip to Sevilla and Granada. We're going to tour an olive farm, eat tapas while enjoying a flamenco show, and go on a river cruise to explore the beautiful sights. You can check out all of the details at the link in the description, and if you're one of the first to book, you get an early bird discount too. If you're crazy about Spain like me, curious about Spain because you've never been here, or if you're considering buying a house in Spain and you want some dedicated time with me to ask questions, this is definitely the trip for you, so come join me in Spain. Well, let's move on to reason number two to visit Spain in the spring, which is fewer crowds. Summertime here is the tourist season, which is mostly made up of Europeans and more specifically a lot of people from the UK visiting their holiday homes or the beach towns. Places like Denia double in population during the summer months. For me personally, I'm not a big fan of being around a whole lot of tourists. If you come during the spring, you'll have a better chance of experiencing local culture in a more true form. And you'll find it easier to drive or walk around the cities, especially the tourist attractions. The beaches will be less crowded, the streets will be less crowded, and when you combine that with the mild weather, I think you've got a great combination. And the next benefit to visiting in the spring is related to number two, and that is that the already low prices will be even lower. Let me give you an example. I just picked out a random Airbnb in Denia, Spain for next year. This Airbnb has only 5-star reviews. The price to stay for a week in April, it was $646. I changed the dates to a week in July and the price went up to $1,085. That is nearly double the price for the exact same apartment for the exact same amount of time. Now let's take it a step further and look at rental cars. I use Skyscanner, which is the site I always use for car rental deals. You can find the link in the description if you're looking for flights or car rentals anywhere in the world. I put in a week in April and there are car rentals for as low as $80 for the whole week. Not $80 per day, $80 total. Good news for everyone, when I put in a week for the summer, it was also $80. That doesn't exactly prove my point at the moment, but I do hope it encourages you to book in advance because when the summer demand hits, those prices will go up. The other thing that will likely be less expensive is airfare. I always get pretty good deals, but part of that is because I never set a specific date that I have to fly. By doing this, I can do a search for the cheapest tickets during a week or two period of time. Not every time, but usually I can fly round trip for around $500 to $600, sometimes less. Anyhow, let's move on to my next reason to visit Spain in the spring, and that is the festivals. You may have heard me talk in some of my previous videos about the Fies Festival in Valencia every March. You guys, this festival is amazing, and it's like everyone is celebrating for like 3 weeks. But if you're going to go to that festival, be sure to be there for the last day or two because that's when everything really picks up, and it's fire, literally. I'll put a link to a video right up here where you can hear me talk more specifically about Fallas. But honestly, it's not just the Fallas Festival. There are so many celebrations throughout Spain in the springtime. Of course, I'm most familiar with everything that happens in Valencia, but you will find festivals and celebrations throughout Spain. There is the Sevilla Fair, the Festival of the Patios in Cordova, where people throughout the area decorate their patios and invite everyone to tour them. Everywhere you look, there are festivals in Spain. And I can only speak to the Fallas Festival, but I'd imagine the feeling is similar. There is just so much joy. Everyone is having a good time. It's not like you have to spend money either. You just go and enjoy and buy food and drink when you need it. That's it. Just so much fun. You should also note if you'll be visiting over the Easter weekend, and this goes for many countries in Europe, especially ones that are heavily Catholic like Spain or Orthodox as well. Even if you aren't a religious person, it is quite an experience to behold. Another thing to note is that it's not just Easter Sunday, but here you also have Easter Monday, where most places will be closed and observant. This year, I was here in Spain over the Easter weekend and headed down to the Pago town center to see all of the churches represented, with everyone from children to the elderly walking in their robes that were a color that represented their parish. It was worthwhile to see. For the locals, of course, this is normal, but we certainly didn't have that in the US growing up. Well, moving on, the next point on my list is that everything is in bloom. Flowers, orange blossoms, and my favorite, lavender. I love going on a coastal hike and smelling the fresh lavender as I walk, which typically begins to bloom in May. But more than just the smells and the sights of flowers in bloom, the fresh produce, which is always good in Spain, is particularly good in the spring. One of my favorite veggies here is red pepper. It has so much more flavor than back at home. It's absolutely fantastic. And if you're into seasonal foods, asparagus is particularly popular in Spain in the spring. You have your traditional green asparagus, but in the southern region of Spain, white asparagus is well known, especially thinly sliced in salads or served with homemade mayonnaise and paired with a dry white wine. If you're a fan of tuna, you'll want to visit Cadiz in May. This is when tuna season begins, with festivals to celebrate it and a wide variety of tuna dishes to try. Well, I hope I've encouraged you to plan your next trip to Spain in the spring. I'll certainly be here, and don't forget to check out the trip with me to Spain in April. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so much fun. Do me a favor, be sure to like this video and subscribe to join me every day, where travel and adventure build financial freedom. I can't wait to see where your dreams